Hello, I'm Brennan Way. You're listening to The Booth. The premise of the show is simple. Two guests and myself recording this in a small, cramped, unair-conditioned room. The longer they're here, the more they'll suffer, so fortunately I'm willing to give them the chance to leave, but only after they complete a series of questions and quiz-type games. Whoever I judge the winner at the end of the show gets their freedom. Whoever is left has to stay on for another week in another edition. Let's meet the victims. First up, he regularly appears at Late Train Comedy Night. Let's hope he doesn't derail the show. It's Charlie Handy.
Hello.
One of the topics of her dissertation is male singers who've been castrated. Let's speak highly of her work. Stuck here from last week, it's KORA KIRBY.
Hello.
How are we all?
Good, thank you.
All right, yeah.
Excellent. Right. Yeah, nice and short. And then let's get the small talk over and get the game on. Right. Later I'll be asking you for your weirdest ever thoughts, so rack your brains and make sure you have something to odd out your rival. Now, this particular episode is about jobs. Have either of you ever done anything for money?
Yeah, I think so.
Charlie?
Yeah, I've done things for money. Sounds worse than it is. I've had a job.
Right, excellent, yes. So we'll start with our first round. It's the good, the bad, and the funny. In this anecdote off, each of you will relate your best, worst, and funniest times at event or rite of passage. Every time we hear a set of stories, I'll judge one as more interesting, thus winning its teller a point. This week, your tale should involve any time you're an employee or in a job. Who wants to start?
That was my buzzer.
Right, okay, excellent. Good story. Go.
Good story. Okay. I do remember after being at work for a little bit, I'd slowly...
Any work, just all work. You always feel good after a little bit of work.
Yeah, sure.
A specific
Rewarding.
job? A specific job?
Yeah, I think I'll talk about my first job, which was at a petrol station.
Mm-hmm.
It was a weird place. It was an attendant service petrol station, so I had to put the fuel in for the customers.
Quaint.
Yeah.
No, they still did that.
I
You clean their
think
cars as well?
luckily not. Did have to check tyres and do oil like in the car quite often and put water in for people.
Sure.
But a good story, I guess thinking back, would be around, I've been there about 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my friends really needed a job, so I gave up some of my days so he could get a job. I thought it was quite good of me. Quite a nice thing to do.
Did you have fun doing it?
Well, the job.
The giving up of the job.
I still lived at home, so I had a lot more money back then because I wasn't paying rent. If it was today, where I'm sort of living on my own, I
Screw
wouldn't.
him.
Yeah, screw him. Yeah,
I'm taking all the shifts.
Yeah, but back then it wasn't
Don't
a
need
problem.
friends, I've got money!
You got it.
That's your good story.
That's my good story.
Doing a good deed.
Yeah.
Okay. KORA.
I used to work in a children's indoor playground called Gymboree.
That already sounds fun.
And I think, despite the fact that, kids are fun, I think the best part of the day was always when I was by myself, just cleaning up everything, because they had really, really good sound systems and the cheesiest kiddie music ever. So I would just blast the music while scrubbing the mats down and just dance around to, I don't know, Shania Twain and silly kiddie diva
Did you think
music.
you were in a Disney film?
Yes, but the best part is still that half of the side of the Gymboree indoor playground was glass. So when people would walk past, I would always be like, yeah! And then, people would look at me funny. So
Wow, it shows the place is fun. It's a good advertisement.
It shut down. So I lost my job.
What?
Because it closed.
What? Because of you?
No.
Scared people off.
No.
It's a dancing lady in the window. Go away, everyone.
Usually that doesn't scare people off if there are dancing ladies in windows, Brendan.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course not.
I don't go there that often.
Only sometimes.
It's only a birthday treat.
Okay.
I don't get to leave this booth often,
Oh, this is true.
so I make the most of my free time.
Anyway, so I would dance around and have my fun with loudspeakers and cheesy music.
Okay. Right, so giving up shift for a friend or potentially closing a place down. I'm a massive fan of the cheesy dancing, so I think you get the first point, KORA.
Yay!
Okay, a bad time at work. Who wants to go first?
All right, a bad story. I think it would have to be the same job at the petrol station. It was probably one of the, just the worst things ever. I'd never encountered people trying to con me before, and I remember these two gypsies came in.
Right.
And they did this thing where they bought...
Please don't be racist.
It's not racist. No, the police caught them and found they described them as Romanian gypsies.
Sorry, caught them. What were they doing? Sorry, continue with your story.
Yeah.
Rid of yourselves.
So I was working and these two Romanian gypsies came in and they bought a small caramel bar and gave me a £50 note. And they
Wow.
went through a process
What a
of...
tip.
I wish. I did actually get tipped a bottle of wine once and
What? For doing what?
putting fuel in someone's car. There were a lot of rich people.
Right. They just have spares in the back. There you go, my man. Enjoy it. Don't drink on the job.
No drinking and driving. Eh?
Well, wow, you taking their alcohol, specifically making sure they don't drink and drive.
Yeah, doing them a
Responsible.
favour.
See, that's another good deed.
Yeah.
You're full of them. Right.
You're on a
anyway.
roll.
I'm better than I thought at this job. Should
Yeah.
go back. These two gypsies, they bought this caramel bar thing that cost like 20p. They gave me a £50 note. And then they said like, oh, I don't want that change. Can you give me this change? No, I want that. Can you change this? And it sort of worked out to the point where they'd actually con me out of about £40. It's actually like a common technique which is used. I didn't know anything about it. I was confused out of my head.
How did they do that, though?
Small amounts. Oh, hang on, no, if you give me that, if you got 3 5s, and then eventually they walked off with the entire till. Well, they haven't literally walked off with the entire
Yeah,
like taking it off,
Yeah.
With a big
Into the
metal.
forecourt.
I give up. Just take the till.
Just take everything, man.
Do it yourself.
I'm done.
But luckily,
Taking the chocolate back, this is hurting my head.
I feel like saying I was young, but I wasn't. I was 18. I was young.
Still young.
Didn't have-
Relatively young.
Had like
Not
no
pension
retail
age.
experience. But luckily there was this guy called David Keast, who was a car salesman because it was like sort of a complex.
Well used to conning people.
Yes, he knew exactly what was going on, and he wrote down their number plate and forwarded it to the police, and they got caught.
Hang on, when did he figure out? Was he like watching you when they?
He
did
was.
that
He
stuff?
did. He didn't.
He didn't do it. He didn't do a thing.
No, he didn't decide to interrupt them. Just decided to let them do it, and then call the police so they could be arrested.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
So-
a smart way around.
Let the newbie take the flak, and then actually, I'm the hero. Here's the numbers, police officers.
That's David Keast for you. I think that was probably one of the worst moments, just realising that I'd quite stupidly handed over about £40.
The maths is confusing. It's deliberately designed to trick you.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't pick you for your math, surely. They just picked you for your customer service. Your employers, not the gypsies. They haven't run a background check on you. They just, he looks young and naive. Sure, get him.
They've been watching me for weeks.
Yeah, seen you take your maths GCSE. They knew you weren't any good.
I've got a D in maths.
And they knew that. They knew that right from the start.
No.
They've been playing the long game.
I remember the guy who hired me, he was leaving, so he didn't really sort of care who he brought in. And I remember him looking at my double distinction and merit in drama and set construction, and he was like, oh, you can paint the forecourt.
Yeah. Did you have to paint the forecourt?
Luckily I didn't. They did make me clean it a lot.
You didn't use your skills.
I know.
They lost
Why
out.
hire me?
Well, because you could paint the forecourt.
And lose £40.
You don't put that on your CV.
No, it doesn't.
Once lost for... Is that why the place shut down?
No.
They ran out of money because you're giving it away.
They went out of business after I left.
Because you left?
You were so
It
good.
was quite a while after I left.
Maybe it was just downhill from when you left, man. You
Could
shouldn't
have
have
been.
left.
Go back there now. Start it back up.
Reopen a petrol business.
I think it's all still there.
Right.
Yeah, I could go and reopen it. Like, I remember after I saw it closed, like all the stock was still in there, and I did think, can I just go in there and get a chocolate bar? That's just going to be thrown away
Give
otherwise.
them a 50 quid, they'll be happy.
Yeah.
Pay them back for the 40 with tip. Not a wine bowl.
No.
Cora?
I used to help my grandma out at Whole Foods, which is this organic food store. And I didn't actually work there, but I helped her out. Like, I'd pick up phones and stuff if she was running off and doing something else. So this one time, a customer calls the customer service booth, and I was like, okay, I'll pick up and I'll help this person out. I know a little something. And this woman was like, I'm really disappointed in you because the lozenges I bought don't last long enough. And I was like, what? She said, well, I bought them for my throat and they go away too quickly and they don't do anything. And I was like, they dissolve as quickly as anything else would. Not really sure how to help you. She's like, well, give me some that don't dissolve as quickly. And I was just like,
What, over the phone?
Yeah. I was just thinking, how am I meant to do this? So I passed the phone to my grandma when she came back, and I was like, this woman is clearly nuts, and I'm giving really bad customer service because I don't know how to deal with this woman. And my grandma was like, yeah, some people are nuts. Like, that's what happens. So she said, there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to kind of tell her that maybe she should try a different lozenge. So that was my time when I gave really bad customer service because I couldn't help her because she was insane.
Right. Okay.
That's my bad time.
Well, it's not terrible. I mean,
I
she can't be
felt really-
helped.
I felt really incompetent, though. I was just like,
What, because she can't produce a lozenge that doesn't dissolve?
maybe her saliva was just too aggressive.
You should have told her that down the phone. I think the problem is with your saliva. The customer is always right, but in this case, you're wrong. It's your body and your enzymes.
Maybe.
Do you think they've got a patent for a throat lozenge that lasts forever, and America have bought the patent so no one can make it, like they did with the light bulb?
Maybe it's kind of like those everlasting gobstoppers in Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
And no one can make them because when they were actually made, they made like the sweet that was meant to pretend like it was an everlasting gobstopper. It didn't last forever. They went away at some point.
Why would you want an everlasting gobstopper?
I don't know.
You'd have to actually just chew it forever, or you'd have to like take it out and put it in a bowl at some points when you wanted something else.
It's like sticking a gum behind your ear, which I never quite understood because I don't think it works.
No,
No, unless you want to put a toupee on, don't put chewing gum behind your ear.
I didn't even know anyone did that.
No, it was a thing in Willy Wonka. She says, I've chewed this gum for so long and I always stick it behind my ear.
Oh, right.
It doesn't work.
Maybe she's confused it with her pencil. Like she wanted to put the pencil behind the ear and was chewing.
Their pencils, don't they?
Maybe they're confused with their gum. They can't find their gum, it's behind their ear. So they've started chewing the pencils.
Yeah, that could happen. That's a theory.
Okay, so it sounds like we've already moved on to the weird thought. Yeah, okay, so being tricked by gypsies or telling a woman that she's wrong. No, you didn't tell that. You didn't tell her
I
that.
couldn't. I wasn't allowed to.
That would have been a terrible. Yeah, customer is always right. Customer is always right. They're an idiot, but they're right. I think the moon is made of cheese. You're right. You're right, customer. Yes,
And
that
this
is a
cheese
thing.
is moon cheese.
Yes. It's actually a packet of cereal, but yes, that is moon cheese. Okay. Charlie, I think. Oh, yeah, Charlie gets that point.
Woohoo!
Okay, funny story at a time of work. Funny.
Okay, funny.
Yes?
I know that word.
Good. Do you have a story?
Yeah, sure.
I do remember a lot of times I'd have to work on Sunday and they'd be the most boring days. Like, no one would come in for ages. Like, we'd have to open it.
still the petrol forecourt?
Yeah, again at the petrol station.
Before it's closed.
Yeah,
Before you
back in time.
Go out of business.
What a loss.
yeah. Where I was born, actually, it was only about half an hour from my house. And originally in the village, there were 4 petrol stations.
How many cars were in the village?
Not enough, I don't think, because 3 of them... No, all 4 are gone now.
There are no cars in your village as well.
No, now they...
Back and car.
Yeah, they can't get to the petrol station without a car, so they have to drive far away.
They should have just called it a petrol station village or something. That's all it was.
It's not catchy, but yeah.
I think it sounds quite cool.
Could be a band. Petrol station village.
Yeah.
Gas station village.
If you're in
Fewer
America,
syllables.
Yeah, no,
Sure. Good thinking.
it's a good thing.
We'll help you on publicity.
Okay.
Just call it Tankstelle.
Does that mean the same?
Means petrol station.
Tankstelle.
Tankstelle.
Stella.
Stelle?
Stella. Like Sean Connery saying Stella.
Yes. Tankstelle.
Tankstelle.
Mhm.
We're learning something. We're learning new words.
All right.
Sorry, what happened at your Tankstelle?
Well, I'd be working on Sundays and it'd be very boring. Like, no one would come in before 10 a.m, yet we'd have to open it. I think it was 7 it had to be open. And I used to come up with ways to try and just make the time pass. So I used to have like these really bad games that I'd invented. And one of them, I don't know if people are going to find this funny. Like, maybe they will, maybe they won't. But
I'll be the judge of what's funny.
Good, okay. You know, sometimes in shops you have like, or in like houses sometimes you have like a motion sensor, which like a little red light lights up when you move. I used to play a game to see if I could get outside of the shop without making the motion sensor go off.
Do you think you're a ninja?
I couldn't really ninja it. I'd just have to move like I was about 80.
So really low down, or?
Slow.
Just
Matrix
incredibly
style.
slowly.
Does that mean old people are ninjas because they don't set the sensor off?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe the country will be taken over by old people.
Well, this county has proved that it's almost been taken over by old people.
Ninjas of Winchester.
That sounds like a great film. So we got a band to form and a film to write.
All right.
Right. So yeah, okay. You try ninja, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to
really
say,
slowly.
though, you couldn't really use the word ninja. It just looked like I was walking in slow motion. And I do remember
Pretend you're doing it for charity. Just go around with a bucket.
that could work.
Block the motion sensor and then walk.
But I remember one time I didn't realise my boss was sort of mowing the lawn, and he was looking at me, and he just must have wondered, what on earth is he doing? He's just walking really slowly to a certain point, then he's suddenly turning around, going back and starting again.
Oh, you weren't satisfied once you'd done it?
No, I
you
just
did it
kept
over
I
and
kept
over?
failing. I'd get like really excited towards the end, and it would light up, so I'd be like, back to the start.
As in this is when there were no customers, they weren't just backed up into the traffic.
Yeah, there were no customers.
There were no customers, excellent. You're not holding anyone up.
Yeah, we were expected to do stuff when there were no customers, though, which I usually did.
Yeah, sure, you acted like a ninja and tried to not set off the sensor. It's not helpful to the business, it's probably why it shut down.
Maybe. You know, they had like this little camera with a light on it as well. So the light thing just reminded me. And some people were so stupid they were convinced this camera was real, and they'd say it's real because it's got a light.
You mean it was a fake cam?
It was obviously fake. But people used to think it
To
was
achieve what? What was it?
To scare people off.
I think it was to scare the dumb people who worked there into working. Because like you could see, like you could pull the wires out and they weren't plugged into anything.
Well, it's like this show. I mean, this recording equipment isn't plugged in.
We're not actually
Is it
here,
wireless?
We don't exist.
Ooh, do any of us exist? Really? Really, if you think about it. None of us exist, man. It's all time and space and molecules and stuff.
Whoa. Mind numbing. But anyway, yeah, to recap.
You were caught. No, he saw you.
Yeah. I was watched playing a game to see if I could escape the store without setting the motion sensor off.
Oh dear. Did he ever raise the issue? Did he just glare at you?
Yeah, it just gave me a very strange look.
Did you ever explain?
I didn't think I
Does
could.
he not know what you were doing now?
No, he'll never know.
Unless he finds this somehow.
Unless he gets
Just
bored
Google's
one day.
old employees. Wonder
Yeah.
what they're doing now.
I do keep meaning to go back there and get a reference from him. But...
Sure, he's closed. He's not going to still be there.
Oh,
mowing
the
lawn.
business shut down and then reopened to something else, which he is still boss of, which is weird. But
So maybe he'll give you a reference of Charlie is really good at playing strange games with motion sensors.
maybe. I hope not.
He can move very slowly. I would recommend him for this ninja position.
Cora?
When I worked at Nero's, we had to have deep cleans, and that means you have to clean everything, even like the pipes in the toilets.
Yourself?
And stuff. Yeah, well, no, not before, preferably after, because
Yes.
you get quite dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were deep cleaning, and we have a couple of plants, and in one of these plants, I found a gnome. So this is like kind of one of those about sort of that big gnomes, maybe like 20 centimeters high. And I found it in one of the plants, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it because I was like, is this something I need to clean away or not? So me and one of my work colleagues decided we were going to adopt the gnome. And so we now have a gnome. I've not seen this work colleague in forever because he went away and he lives somewhere else now.
Ran away with the gnome.
No,
They've set up-
I have the gnome.
No, you have the gnome.
I have the gnome, and he sits on a mushroom, and he has a leaf in his hand where you can put stuff on. So I always put little things on there. But this is the funny part, he is a footless gnome. He only has 1 foot. So he has...
Well, he's not footless. He has a foot.
Okay, well, he's half a foot
Yes.
gnome.
Yes.
So
Uniped.
I have called him Glenn, and this is my gnome, and he sits in my room, and he's my friend. And that's the nice part that I took from Nero's, so...
Okay. What type of place was Nero's? Was it unusual for a gnome to be there? Was it?
No, Nero's Cafe Nero.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
so very unusual to find a gnome.
Yeah, because if Nero's.
If it was Nemo's, maybe, because, Nemo got lost, so maybe he found lots of lost things.
Yeah? Well, there's going to be a Finding Nemo too. He's lost again! Bloody Nemo.
He needs to get a compass or something, or a map.
Yes.
Or has like a tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of those beeper things, yeah.
Well, yeah, what I was going to say is that if Nero's was like, you know, a garden centre, a gnome would not be unusual. But yeah, a coffee shop, absolutely, that's weird.
In one of the potted plant things.
Surely that was just a prop.
No, it wasn't, because there were no gnomes elsewhere, and this was not part of the decor. So,
It could be a nice little quirky thing a colleague brought in. You've probably stolen their gnome.
no, because we were all there deep cleaning, and it didn't belong to anyone, so Lewis and I decided to adopt it.
Right.
Because it didn't have a family. There were no other gnomes. And gnomes are generally lonely, so I decided to give it a nice home.
Gnomes are generally lonely. Are you speaking from experience?
Yes, because you know they have those things where people take the gnomes around the world. They always do that by themselves. They never take friend gnomes.
Maybe they like to be alone.
That's not real. Nobody wants to be alone, really.
Well, we don't know. Gnomes may not. How human are gnomes?
Gnomes are goofier than humans, I think. Maybe. Because they have a silent G at the beginning of their name.
That is the sign of goofiness.
It's the goofy G. It's hidden, but it's there.
Right. Are knights goofy because they have the silent K?
No, because they would have to have something sneaky that starts with a K, not a G.
Right, so if you have a silent G, you're crazy.
No, you're goofy. I didn't say
goofy.
crazy.
Right. You sound crazy.
I am.
I found a gnome, and then I adopted it, and I called it Glenn.
Yes.
Is that a very gnomey name?
I don't know. Glenn, Nomi, Gigi. Maybe his nickname can be Gigi for short.
Well, like horses.
G.G. Abrams.
Well, what do you mean like horses?
Gigi is a word for horse.
Is it?
It's like a casual name for a horse, yeah.
I've
Gigi.
never heard
Like
this
Gigi.
before.
Put some
Clearly,
mon-
maybe this is a Brendan word.
No, you put some money on the Gigis. G-E-E-G-E-E. Gigis.
Gigi. Nah.
Gigis. Gigis are horses. I didn't make this up.
Yes,
I don't
you
make up
did.
words. I'm not so bored in here. I make up language and try and sneak
I
into the
do.
podcasts.
Glenn the gnome. Gigi.
Okay.
Maybe when I'm not there, he gallops around the room. You don't know that. Oh, he
Only
can't.
one
He
leg.
only has 1 foot. Damn it.
Lopsided trot.
Glenn the lopsided gnome.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll find in favour of the gnome just because it's nice and silly. Yeah, the gnome gets the funny story. Glenn has won you a point. Right, let's go on our lunch break now and share a few weird thoughts. Give each of them in turn, and we'll see if we can see some sense in them. Whoever ends up sounding the least rational wins the round. Who's got a weird thought?
Why is the alphabet in that order?
Ooh. Does it actually need to be in an order? I mean, the only time we use it is like libraries. Maybe they had a contest.
I
Maybe-
don't. But what constitutes letters being more important than other letters to come first?
I don't think it's not like a ranking.
Yeah, it
A
is.
is not important than
But
Z.
you start like this, and you're like, item A, B, C, D. It goes in that order, and kids learn it in that order. They have the alphabet song.
Yes, well, it's probably that order because of the song. If they fit the tune. They had the tune and thought, well, which letters fit? Which rhyme?
Da. W, X, K, M, N, O.
Oh, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, rewrite. They got to get all the rhyming letters like B and Z and C.
Yeah, then B and Z are at the same place because they're not. It's not A, B, Y, Z.
No, because that doesn't fit the tune. A, B, C, D.
E, F, Z.
No, we don't repeat the letters. The alphabet doesn't have Z turn up repeatedly.
Why not?
A, Z, Z, D.
Z, Z, Z.
The person who wrote it really liked Z. Or in England, Z. Z is the less fun sounding. Z is just a full
See, it
stop.
doesn't rhyme.
Z
What?
doesn't, no.
No. So why do you call it Z? Another weird thought. Why do British people say Z instead of Z? It makes a Z sound, so it should be called Z, not Z. Who put Ed on the end?
Yeah, bloody Ed. It's probably Ed wrote the song and he wanted some credit.
It did W, X, Y, and Z.
I agree, it's such a dull ending. X, Y, Z. Whereas Z is fun. Z!
It's like a B.
Z.
Bzz,
Well, yes, because it
Z.
rhymes with B. Yeah, Z. Z.
Okay, that's my weird thought.
No, it's good. It's fun and musical. Charlie.
Did you say something about the lunch?
Yeah, I joked we're going on our lunch break because that's a work thing.
Oh, okay. I'm quite hungry.
Right.
Yeah, like a weird thought that I always have was, you know, in the kebab shops, there's pictures of like the food. Like, who takes the pictures of that food? And I thought maybe it's like people do a degree in like media or a degree in photography, and they get like a 2-2 or a third, or they fail, and they can't get to take pictures of people or plants or stuff like that. So they're on like the lower tier. And like for all the failed photographers out there, there's like this world of taking pictures of like kebabs and burgers and like horrible greasy food, and they're just stuck on that level.
You think it's like a movement of
It's
people?
an art.
It is an art in its own way, yeah. And like a movement as well. These people haven't done very well, so now they can only do that. That's all they can do.
That's all they can do.
Yep, that's all they can do.
Do they at one point graduate to McDonald's, or is it just kebabs?
Yeah, I reckon they can progress to like McDonald's, but that's about as far as they can go.
Do you think a few people have a monopoly on the pictures for kebabs? Like, do a few guys do all the pictures for all the kebab shops?
Because they all kind of look yucky in the same way.
Yeah, indistinct.
So it's kind of like, you know how you can tell someone's writing style from a mile away. Maybe you can tell someone's photography style from a mile away
Yeah,
also.
definitely.
So since they all kind of look the same, maybe the people who do like weird Chinese food pictures, you know, the ones that look really icky and you're like, what
Yeah.
is this? Worms or pasta? So then, you know, that's the same person who takes those photos throughout because they all look kind of beigey brown and
Yeah,
the lighting's all off
absolutely,
and
Do you think they need to do different pictures for individual shops, or could they just have a stock collection that they send to all
They
shops?
probably just flip the picture so it looks a little bit different, don't they?
Yeah, Photoshop, colour the noodles differently.
smush it a little bit so that it's, you know, not the same shape.
Yeah. Do you think also though with these people, like people who take pictures of like say there's people taking pictures of models, like they might be getting sort of horny doing that. Do you think people that have been taking pictures of kebab so long they're getting a little bit turned on by the idea?
Well, they're definitely not going to feel hungry because kebabs don't look appetizing.
No, right.
They're only appealing to a drunk.
It could be a very odd fetish.
It could be. We could have just discovered it now.
Well, it's probably on the internet. There probably is, you know, a site for kebab pictures.
Hot kebab.
Yep, hotkebabs.com. If it's not out there, it will be by the time people have finished listening to this.
Yeah.
In fact, if you find a site or Tumblr devoted to hot kebab pictures, please send them my way and I will link them in with this podcast. Right, so
So that's that.
so people just get stuck in this job. Do they try and, you know, photograph humans, or do they just think, oh, I'm a kebab photographer, I will always be a kebab photographer?
Yeah, it could be like they just can't get out of work. Like one of my housemates is a carer/note taker, and he really wants to be an office worker, which I said like, get a life, mate. Oh shit, he's gonna listen to this. And he's always applying for these office jobs, and he doesn't get them. Like, why? Because he's never done office work. He's not qualified as an office worker. They wouldn't hire someone who has no experience. So maybe with these kebab guys, they've got this CV of kebabs, and they say like, oh, I want to.
They go to the Times. Can I
Can I
photograph a war zone?
Yeah.
Nope.
No. Like, why would you photograph a war zone? You'd probably like
It
pick
might
out
look
some
the
bit
same
of food.
as a kebab.
A war zone.
Oh,
Parts of it,
Some, like,
maybe.
blown up human.
Maybe. If
that's what's in kebabs. Soylent Green all over again.
horses in
horse-
burgers and
Lasagna,
people in kebabs.
people in kebabs. Well, yeah, as people are in kebabs as discussed on the hotkebab.com.
Ah, yes, people in oh, ew.
Oh.
Icky. Kebabs all over the place. Meh.
Well, with regard to your friend, I mean, it's catch-22. You need experience to get the job, but you need a job to get the experience.
Yeah.
So you're sort of stuck.
Yeah, he got
Endless loop.
Yeah.
suggested that he works for free to get the experience. It makes me laugh. Like, you got to work for nothing.
Most people do internships. That's the way to do it.
You do one?
Am I doing an internship?
Yeah.
No, I'm
I
stuck
am.
here.
Yay.
Hooray!
Hey.
Yeah, that's why people are so willing to work for free. Just they need it on the CV. That rhymes.
Pretty good.
Like Z.
Like Z, yeah, like
CVZ.
the
free.
alphabet. Yes.
I suppose the theatre stuff we do is like kind of working for free, aren't we?
Yep.
It's alright, having fun.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. I mean, this podcast never gonna make any money. It's sort of my prison, but it's fun. It's fun.
Maybe someday on a radio show they'll be like, hey, we want that Brendan Way.
Again, that rhymes.
That was an accidental rhyme.
Right. Well, my name is very easy to rhyme.
Okay. Brendan Way.
Please don't do all the rhymes.
Yay.
Way.
First year of uni, someone, whenever they heard my name in the register, did respond with "Way."
Every day.
Yes.
Yes.
Every day. Way. Okay.
Was it...
Z.
Who was it? Is it someone we know?
It's the tech guy for our show.
Ah, yeah. Okay.
What's his name?
Techie.
Yeah.
That's what I call him.
Lighting guy. What, in your long conversations you have? Well, you're on
Oh,
stage
is
and
it-
he's on the...
It's not the guy I said, wouldn't it be funny if he was blind?
It
It sounds different to how, like, it happened.
What, in that he was wearing shades and you thought, yes, it's the guy you thought it would be funny if he was blind.
That was because he was a light designer.
Yes, he needs to bring light, but it's dark.
His job requires vision.
Yes. I'm sure he's bringing vision to the job.
Good.
He's a good man. I'll be very confused if he listens to this. Right, so lighting guy can't listen to it. Your flatmate can't listen to this.
Yeah, and do you think we annoyed some Chinese people earlier? We said their food looked...
And the kebab people.
Yeah, the kebab people.
Okay, we'll do an apology. People who sell or make that food, while I don't personally eat it all that frequently, we have no problem with it.
Except that I'm a vegetarian.
You can get rice.
With a kebab?
No, from the Chinese shop.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Rice and kebab. Interesting. Not tasty, but interesting. Okay. Why is the alphabet in that order? And are people stuck taking pictures of kebabs? Ooh, both interesting thoughts. I think, Cora, because you didn't insult anyone, and you got us to all rhyme and sing, I think you get the point.
She did insult the Chinese.
I did. That was my point. But that's all right.
That was your
Thank
point,
you.
to insult them.
No, it wasn't. It was
We have no problem with anyone.
them. I really like Chinese food.
Excellent. Wait, is that a fast burst of flames? That can only mean one thing. It's the quick fire round. In this final game, I'll ask you a series of questions whose answers relate to our theme. You not only have to get them right, but get in first. To help you to that end, you both have verbal buzzers. As this edition is all about work, Charlie, you shout employee E, and Cora, you shout hire F. Number 1. Which job application document involves spotting the 22nd letter of the alphabet?
Higher F.
Yes?
CV.
Correct.
Yay for alphabets.
Number 2. Which singing children's toy works 9 to 5?
Employee, baby wee wee.
Nope.
I don't know any children's things.
It's a children's toy mainly for girls. Stereotypically for girl.
Barbie?
What is Barbie?
A doll?
Yes. Who sings 9 to 5?
A doll?
Adele.
Adele?
No. Go, you're so close. Barbie is a doll. Who's the singer who sings 9 to 5?
Dolly
Dolly.
Parton.
Cora was in first. Yes, Dolly. The answer was Dolly.
I don't know.
Yes, fine. And number 3, moving on. Which button on a computer keyboard indicates a period of work?
A shift. Sorry, higher F.
Yes.
A shift.
Yes. Bruce Springsteen is in charge of your company. This is number 4. What do you call him?
The man.
Close. Who's usually in charge?
Employee, the boss.
Correct. Bruce Springsteen is nicknamed the Boss. Number 5. How does Sir Alan Sugar or Donald Trump tell a human cannonball what his work entails?
Employee.
Yes.
You're fired.
Correct! Okay, at the end of all that, we have a winner, but first a chance to plug. Panellists, is there anything you want the internet to know about?
I'm still going to go with your wedding whenever it happens.
Wedding?
It is the event to be at. Definitely going to be the event of the century when Brendan Way and Dan Luxton get hitched.
Yeah, if we ever get out of this booth.
That's right, you could get married in here.
Oh, trap a vicar. Trap a vicar.
The person you invite has to be a minister.
You could plug your Shakespeare thing in June.
Yep, there's a Shakespeare thing in June.
Yes, that you're in.
Yep. It's either going to be Pericles or Measure for Measure.
And it will be on?
It'll be on the 21st and the 22nd.
At the University of Winchester.
And the 19th and the 20th at the Discovery Centre.
Cool. Okay, the final scores. Charlie, you had 3 points, but this week's winner is Cora with 6. Congratulations, Cora, you get to leave the booth. As for you, Charlie, you get to spend all your waking hours doing tasks, so I ban you from watching Hamlet. Well, all work and no play. Till next time, I'd like to thank Charlie Handy.
Thank you.
KORA KIRBY.
Thank you.
The MMC and you for listening. I've been Brendan Way. This has been The Booth. Goodbye!